Support for Sportspage is provided by First Central Bank, full-service banking from 6 locations in Warrensburg, Holden, Higginsville, and Odessa. More information is available on their Facebook page or at the website firstcentral.net. Member FDIC. By the University Store. The University Store is the official headquarters for Mules and Jennies emblem clothing, gifts, and UCM memorabilia. Books, office supplies, art supplies, and more are available at the University Store, located on the lower floor of the Elliott Union on the UCM campus in Warrensburg. By Parker's Supermarket and Pharmacy, a home-owned and operated store that listens to its customers. Whether it's a hypoallergenic formula or a new exotic vegetable, Parker strives to serve the unique needs of the area. The mission at Parker's is to make grocery shopping a welcoming experience. And promotional support for Sportspage is provided by 1450 Cocoa and 98.5 The Bar. 1450 Cocoa and 98.5 The Bar, the radio home of University of Central Missouri Athletics. Straight ahead on our final edition of the Central Missouri Sports Page for the winter sports season. We'll hit the hardwood to talk hoops with Mules coach Kim Anderson and Jennies coach Dave Slifer. The Jennies will shoot for their 20th win this Saturday at the Multi against Truman, while the Mules will be playing for a share of the MIAA title against the Bulldogs to close out the regular season. In our Sports Page Student Athlete Spotlights, we'll get to know Mules senior forward Dusty Allen and Jennies senior guard Taylor Hanson. All of that and more coming up next here on our final winter sports season edition of the Central Missouri Sports Page. Hello again, everybody, and thanks for watching the University of Central Missouri Sports Page. I'm Shawn Jones, and joining me to tip off the show is Mules basketball coach Kim Anderson. And Coach A, what a difference a week makes. And we've said that actually a couple times so far this winter on the show. Last week it was a 3-game losing streak for the Mules and a little bit of difficulty there for the basketball team. And then you go to Northwest, knock off a Bearcat team that hadn't lost at home. They were leading the league. Then you go to St. Joe, take on Missouri Western, beat them, and now you're a win away from an MIAA championship. So a much different week than what we discussed last week here on Sports Page.
Well, it certainly has been. I think really you got to give credit to our guys. I think they bounced back really well after a period there where, you know, we got beat by Washburn, then we lost a couple of tough games to Fort Hays and then a home game against Central Oklahoma. And, you know, really going to Northwest last Saturday, we didn't, that first half, you know, thank goodness we played pretty solid defensively because we really had trouble scoring. And then in the second half, we just played great. We got a little bit of a lead, and we were able to hang on to it. And then last night's game against Western, kind of similar, although we didn't guard as well in the first half. But in the second half, we were able to put together a good run offensively. Scored 51 points in a half, you know, which is pretty good. It's just that bad first half we've got to correct here down the stretch.
Your team was quite amazing on the road the last 2 games in the second half. Slow starts, but your second halves were as good as any halves you put together all season in both those wins.
Well, and I think a big part of that is we really pushed the ball more. And you know, in both games were control games. Northwest is a team that very, very good, very, very efficient offensively. Has done a great job of controlling games, and we were able to shake loose. In my mind, it goes back to really a couple of individuals spearheading it, and that would be Widget Washington and Lance Beckwith. Both of those guys really pushed the basketball, and then the other guys ran with them, and we were able to get some easy baskets. Same thing last night. I thought we were really, really stagnant. Western does a great job of making you guard them for 25 or 30 seconds, and then they go shoot. And if they make it, they win. If they don't, they lose. And last night they were making enough to you know, they built a 14 or 16 point lead there in the first half. But our guys kind of hung in there, and we got some easier buckets in the second half. Kind of shook the game loose a little bit. Never gave up, never got frustrated. probably a little bit nervous at times, but then at the end we took the lead, made free throws down the stretch, and really did a good job of executing at the end of the game.
Well, let's review the week that was. We go back to last Saturday, the Mules in Maryville to take on Northwest. If Northwest won that game, they claimed at least a share of the MIAA title. They'd won 14 straight at home. You trailed 19-17 at halftime. It scored 59 second-half points, shot around 70% from the floor, and had guys who were scoreless at halftime scoring 13, 14, 15 in the second half. Just a tremendous performance to get a huge win.
Well, a couple of things about this game. I can remember with about two or 3 minutes ago, it was 19-12, and Boo Hunter knocked down a three, made a couple free throws to pull us to 19-17. And the thing about Northwest is they normally only give up about 60 points a game. So, you know, we were able to generate some offense in the second half that was equal to what they usually give up for a game, which I know is disappointing for them, but for us, you know, it shows that we can be explosive in stretches, and that's probably something we need to do more of.
Well, your team showed some mental toughness again on Wednesday night. You went to St. Joe to take on a very scary Missouri Western team. You're playing at this point knowing if you win two, you win a share of the MIAA title. They're playing to get into the MIAA tournament. They've had a tough year win-wise, but they've played everybody extremely close. Their last win at home, as a matter of fact, was over the #1 ranked team at the time, Missouri Southern. And then to top it off, you get off to a slow start, but again, toughness down the stretch to close her out.
Well, no doubt they really are. They got to be the best 3-16 team in the country because they've played everybody close. There's a guy I think that kept us in this the whole night. I thought Widget was really solid, and that's his second game in a row where he's made good decisions. And this guy right here got going in the second half. I think scored 17 points maybe or whatever. He scored 26 for the game, Dominique Long.
This is also your 5th of 5 straight MIAA road games. So, you know, when we talk about slow starts, I guess, you know, accentuate the positive, the good finishes, but that's a long, brutal stretch, and you get out of it at 3-2.
Yeah, you know, I've looked at a lot of schedules. I haven't seen a conference schedule where anybody plays 5 games in a row on the road. So I was really proud of our guys to be able, if you just said we're going to be 3-2 after these 5 games, I probably would have taken it.
Get down 16 in the first half, fight back, you're down 9 at the half. They controlled the tempo, as you mentioned, took the shot clock down, actually led by 13 in the second half at times. But again, the final 10 minutes of this game is where you were able to come back, fight hard, hit some shots, control the pace for the first time, and win the ballgame.
Well, and there's Widget hitting Alex Dean again. You know, Alex was solid on the inside. You know, Widget shot the ball well. He's very hard to guard. When he's knocking down shots, you know, he's even that much more of a threat. I noticed there'll probably be a lot more highlights of the second half than there is the first half. But here's Widget again on a pull-up jumper that we do a good job of getting the rebound. Dean's right there.
Widge with 26 points, 12 assists, and 2 turnovers the last 2 games in these 2 road wins.
Yeah, been very solid. Been very, very solid and really taking care of the basketball.
There's number 34, Levante Douglas. You know, we're seeing a lot of pro Mule highlights here, but he had 21 points, 11 boards, and dominated with that move right there that Damo Long showing us in the first half. You switched some things up in the second half and really controlled the paint.
Yeah, you know, you see we played a little bit more zone defense. We were having trouble with Douglas. He really played a nice game, and he had 14 at the half, and we just felt like, hey, he was just taking it at us, and the zone kind of kept them from getting the ball inside, and they didn't shoot the ball as well. So, you know, it looked good last night.
Very interesting game down the stretch. Again, Dominique Long starts to heat up, scores 19 in the second half, career high 26 in the ball game. He was the offensive spark you desperately needed in this comeback.
Well, and he was open. You know, he didn't have a good first half, and Damo's a guy who can kind of float around. He doesn't necessarily good move there by Matt, but he doesn't necessarily have to follow an offense. He can kind of pop out and shoot the 3 or drive it, and that's been a huge advantage for us this year. There's a nice pass by Lance. Big shot there by Boo Hunter when we really needed it. Or Dominic Newton, I'm sorry, Dominic Newton.
We're got a little foreshadowing. We're going to see a big one from Boo Hunter coming up. They were all big at this point. Again, you got down 13 points in the second half and really had 0 momentum in this game until about the 10-minute mark in, and then finally started to chip away at the lead.
Yeah, I just thought we stayed. We didn't panic. I think there was some concern, but there's Damo hitting another 3. But we stayed to the task defensively. We got better, I thought, and then offensively we finally started making some shots. I think we shot 60% maybe in the second half.
You're still down 4 with 4:23 left to go in this ball game, and it's going to get interesting. And here's a big shot from Dominique Long. Again, the hot hand, chipping into it, getting back to within 1.
Yeah, again, floating on the perimeter. You know, sometimes guys that guard him aren't used to going out there and getting him, and he can kind of do the float. There's a great drive again by Dominique Newton, who came off the bench to really give us a good spark last night. He's gotten better and better since he's gotten back from his knee injury.
First lead of the game came with 3:41 to go. There you see you've got a 1-point lead with 2:55 to go. We still got a lot of twists and turns left in this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of basketball left, and you know, there's the big play to Boo that I alluded to earlier. Great control by Widget, great kick out, and that's Boo's shot. That's one he makes on a regular basis.
I'll tell you, a play we didn't see was an attempted alley-oop by Western. Nice pass, Widget there to Dean, but an attempted alley-oop for a 7-point lead, knocked away by Dean, taken down. You turned it into points. That was a big swing too.
It really was. It was a 7-point game, and we turned it back into a 4 or 5-point game.
They're going to get back to within 1 after 3 free throws, but there's Boo Hunter, rebound, stick back. That's a huge play.
Great rebound by Boo, something we've always talked to him about, and that's certainly we needed it at that time.
And the Mules know with that victory, as you see Widget say, there we go, let's get out of here with a win. Mules go to 18-7. Now this is the 9th straight season the Mules have won 18 or more games. That's the longest current streak in the MIAA of 18-plus win seasons for any program. More importantly for the Mules, 14-5 in the MIAA, the record. So the Mules know on Saturday they're playing for a share of their 4th MIAA title under head coach Kim Anderson. Coach A, you see it right there. The Mules, Southern, Northwest, Washburn, all 14-5. Southern and Northwest will play Saturday in Maryville. One of those teams will win the league. Washburn hosts Lincoln. They win a share of the league. You host Truman, you win a share of the league. You and I talked before the season. I thought 15-5 would truly win this league. And as you and I have talked before, without question, the toughest league in the country. If you're fortunate enough to win, and it'll be a challenge, we'll talk about that in a moment, you'll take a title, whether you're sharing it with 1, 2, or 3. It's still an MIAA championship.
It is, and it's something that I know our guys would embrace. You know, and that's one of your goals when the season starts, is can you win your league? And our league is so competitive and so balanced from top to bottom that in many instances it is shared. You know, we've shared it before. I know years we haven't won and it's been shared by other teams. So, you know, we've won it outright. So, but in any way you can win the league just demonstrates a extended period of success over a long season. And, you know, we started this back in December, and it's going to end on Saturday. And I just hope we play well. You know, Truman's a good team, and they're fighting too. They got something to play for too, so it should be a heck of a game.
Well, you're ranked 6th in the region. Of course, every game matters. Top 8 in each of the 8 regions in the country go to the Division II National Tournament. You're 6th right now. There's 3 AQs from tournaments in our region, so do the math on that. 8, 7, 6. If somebody steals one, you got to keep trying to move up the ladder. You mentioned Saturday. Let's talk about that. The Truman Bulldogs coming to town. It's everything day, which is terrific. You're playing for an MIAA championship if you win. It's senior day. You're going to honor Dusty Allen, Boo Hunter, and your student assistant Marcus Santoro. It's Hall of Fame Day. We're going to honor the Hall of Fame class at halftime of the Mules game. It's also Blackout Day. First 500 students prior to the Jennies game at about 1:15 on the east end of the arena will receive a free UCM Blackout t-shirt. So a little bit of fun going on Saturday at the Multi in the final regular season game.
You know, both teams are, and I know Slife will be on later on, but there's something to play for. You know, we're playing for a championship. But as important, you know, the regional rankings or the region's very, very important. You know, I think that's going to be you know, that's a touch and go thing. It's going to depend on what happens here in the next week or two. We by no means are even secure at 6. So you know, every game becomes more and more important. And then all the other things surrounding the day. You know, the honoring Dusty and Boo and Marcus and then the Hall of Famers. My first Hall of Famer individual, Michael Hicks, will go in the Hall of Fame. He won't be there because he's still playing professional basketball, which is a good thing, over in Poland. But there's just a lot going on Saturday, and I hope it's a very special day for both teams.
And then after Saturday, it's on to the postseason, the MIAA tournament in Kansas City, and it'll be interesting how it shakes out on Saturday in terms of seeding, but tickets are on sale at the multi-ticket office. The Mules will begin play on Friday, March 2nd in Kansas City. What a great event, and I tell you what, this thing's wide open. It should be terrific for the fans.
Yeah, it's really, I think it'll be crazy, you know, and as far as where we'll be seated, you know, that'll be determined after this weekend's games. You know, we probably know we'll be in the first 3 seeds, more than likely, but who knows? There's still a lot of basketball left to play, a lot of games Saturday that are going to impact that seeding process for next week.
20-game MIAA schedule. It is a grind. The double round robin and all that. And it takes talent to win in this league. Obviously, it takes good coaching, no question. And it also takes toughness, mental toughness, physical toughness for that 20-game grind. And you know, it's been a season of ups and downs with 10 new guys in this program. But when you think of it that way, with 10 new guys, you kind of have to shake your head and smile that this team has a chance Saturday to win an MIAA championship.
Well, yeah, I'm really pleased with these guys. You know, we've had some ups and downs. We've had some guys, you know, our best defender, Reggie Stallings, gets hurt in the 3rd or 4th game of the season. We've had numerous cases of guys being banged up, haven't been able to play in a game, or been sick or whatever, and guys have stepped up to, you know, to help. You know, the other thing is I think there's been a tremendous amount of competition, and there's been some fluctuation in playing time with different guys. You know, as a coach, guys don't always like that, but I think that's made us better. And I think if you're going to be the best player, you've got to compete every day. And I think that's helped us. And of course, winning 9 games in a row there, after stumbling out of the block somewhat, certainly made the season.
Hall of Fame day, senior day for your guys, final regular season game, playing for an MIAA championship, 3:30 for the Mules. Jennies trying to win their 20th at 1:30 Saturday at the Multi against Truman. I know you said it last night on the radio. Hopefully a lot of folks will come out because it's a special day.
Well, I hope so. You know, I think that both teams have had good seasons so far, and both certainly have something to play for. You know, I hope we have a good crowd. You know, our support has always been great, but in the last couple of years it hasn't been as great as it used to be. And we're no longer the king of the MIAA, and as far as attendance goes, you know, there's 2 or 3 other schools now that are drawing more people than us. So I hope Saturday we all rally and turn our DVRs or whatever they are on the Missouri-Kansas game. We can watch that later on that night and come out and watch us play.
Best of luck playing for the championship. Thanks for the visits all season.
All right. Thanks, Jonesy.
Coming up next on Sportspage, we'll get to know Mules senior forward Dusty Allen. That's next here on KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS.
Let's start a riot, let's start a riot. Let's start a riot, let's start a riot.
We have said it all year, there is just something special, amazing about this team.
I choose to be independent, to blaze my own trail.
I choose what to create, how to organize, and where to share.
I choose what it means to be a change maker. I choose who to root for, who to work for, and who to care for. I choose red to broaden my world.
I choose red to discover my hidden potential.
Choose red.
Choose red.
Choose red.
Choose red.
Watch Season to Season Outdoors starting in January, only on KMOS-TV, Channel 6. Can I get a grunt?
And welcome back to Sports Page here on KMOS-TV. In this segment, we shine the student-athlete spotlight on Mules senior forward Dusty Allen.
Last year we went through some hard times with the injuries, and we had a few people playing out of position. And this year we're more, everybody contributes in their own way. Instead of last year, we have to figure out how. Now we just play off of each other and try to play as much together as a team as possible. Last year we ran a lot of ball screen motion, and this year we started off with that, but we've had some success running just our plain sets and just making sure we share the ball, and we don't have to rely as much as last year or the years before, somebody coming off that ball screen. And now we can make plays off a designed set, but not necessarily have to run everything like robots. The coaches here have been great. My whole career, I've loved playing for Coach A, Coach Luce, Coach Lowry. It's been fun watching Coach Lowry grow up, because his first years here were my first years here, so we've kind of grown up together. Coach Luce, I love hanging out with him. He's a funny guy. He's really bald, but he's funny. And then Coach A is a really good guy, really good coach, and everybody respects him a lot. I started off at Drury down in Springfield, which is my hometown, and after I went through some troubles there, as far as like I didn't like the playing style, I didn't like the school that we had. I was having success, I just didn't like my situation. I decided to transfer, and one of the schools that looked at me out of high school was University of Central Missouri, and I put out a word to one of my friends that lived and went to school up here, and he got a hold of the coaches, and then Coach A came down and visited with my family, and seemed like a real cool guy. And then I came up and I visited campus. It was a lot bigger than Drury. That's what I liked the most about it. It was the biggest D2 school that I got recruited by. And then once I got up here, I love the atmosphere. I love the people that were involved. I love the good college town sense you get here, and just all the stuff there is to do in Warrensburg and with the school and how everyone's involved. The first time I ever saw a basketball game, I was at my grandma's house, and I turned on the TV and I snuck. I wasn't allowed to touch the remote, so I changed the channel for some reason, and the first thing I saw was Vince Carter and Anton Jameson at the University of North Carolina, and I saw somebody dunk. I think it probably was Vince Carter, but somebody dunked. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So from then on, I started playing. I started watching basketball, and I always grew really fast. So I was really tall, so everybody's like, "You should play basketball." So I picked it up and just kind of ran with it, and it turned out to be something I was good at, and something I loved being around, and something I love to do every day. My family's not big into sports, but my grandfather, who comes to almost all my games, ever since I started playing and started taking it a little more serious than just the regular youth basketball, he started showing up to all my games pretty much, and you could tell he really enjoys being around like the team and the guys and watching me play. And now I kind of play for him. Like, I kind of like seeing him at the games. I like for him to have something to do, go watch and root for a team, and he keeps a little scrapbook of everything I've ever done, and I think it's fun to play for him and know that he's always going to be there, and it's something that we both enjoy and we both get a lot out of, and it's a nice extra bonding experience maybe between me and my grandpa. Winding down at the end of the year, I really hope we make a push. I mean, it's my last year, it's my last few games. I feel like after our big win against Northwest, we have a chance to make a big push and hopefully get into the NCAA tournament. Right now, that's still a little up in the air, but hopefully we go on a run and win some games and get moved up in the regional rankings, and then maybe go deep, maybe win a national championship at the end. I'm definitely a leader. I've talked to Coach A and the other coaches about being more of a leader, more of a vocal leader. I don't play necessarily as much as Boo, who's our other captain, but I bring the leadership skills, I bring the energy, I bring the knowledge of the game since I am a senior, and I try to rub off like a calm, cool attitude with the younger guys and the guys who just got here, and just try to help guide them through this process, because it's not easy, and especially when you're transferring from a new school, learning all new system, learning new coaches and how they work. I try to just help everybody out with that and just try to keep everybody together and keep everybody going on the right path. A lot of the schools in our conference are a lot smaller, so whenever we do pack the house, you get an energy that you don't necessarily get at those other schools. And I mean, there is a home field advantage, but whenever this building's empty, you can feel it. Like, there's not as much energy. But whenever this building is packed and everybody's screaming and everybody's wild, then you really get that energy. And it doesn't matter if you got 2 hours of sleep or 10 hours of sleep. You run off that adrenaline that the crowd gives you, and you just get that extra boost that you may not get at other schools.
The senior from Springfield Kickapoo has been a valuable 3-year contributor to Mules basketball. A win Saturday versus Truman would give the Mules and Dusty Allen 2 MIAA titles in his 3 seasons with the program. Coming up next on Sportspage, we'll take a look at how the Mules and Jennies winter sports and spring sports teams performed this past week, and we'll stay on the court as we welcome in Jennies head coach Dave Slifer. All of that's on the way when Sportspage continues right after this.
I choose to accomplish my goals.
I choose to follow through to finish my degree.
I choose a university that's convenient and close to home.
I choose Red to transfer my credit hours without any hassles.
I choose Red to graduate on time.
The University of Central Missouri Summit Center in Lee Summit has academic programs designed to help you finish your degree and discover your potential. Learn more at choosered.ucmo.edu.
When you support your PBS station, you support possibilities. You're making sure there is a source for independent voices, ideas, and perspectives. You're opening children's minds and giving everyone the chance to find inspiration from the arts, to discover more, be more. Support possibilities. Support KMOS.
The big thing with the KMOS Ready to Learn program isn't just, come watch our shows, but then they want you to turn it off and read a book. My source for quality children's education is KMOS-TV.
You're watching KMOS Channel 6.1, Sedalia, Warrensburg.
And once again, thanks for watching Sportspage here on KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS. Coming up next, we'll talk Jennies basketball with head coach Dave Slifer. But first, let's look back at how the Mules and Jennies performed this past week. And a busy week with both the winter and spring sports seasons underway. The UCM track and field team posted 5 NCAA provisional qualifying marks last Friday at the UCM Classic at the Multi. UCM improved 3 provisional marks while capturing 4 event titles on both the men's and women's side of the competition. The 6th-ranked Jennies bowling team finished in 3rd place at the Morgan State Classic in Baltimore, Maryland. Kara Richard finished in 2nd place to pace the Jennies. The Jennies softball team went a perfect 5-0 last weekend at the South Central Shootout in Durant, Oklahoma. The Gens beat 12th-ranked Arkansas Monticello, Central Oklahoma, Cameron, Southeastern Oklahoma, and Texas Permian Basin. It's the best start for the Jennies softball team since 2006. And the Jennies basketball team has 19 wins on the season, 1 away from that magic number 20. Joining us now to talk about his team is head coach Dave Slifer. Coach Slifer, welcome back to the show.
Good to be here.
Well, we just finished a 5-game MIAA road trip. Coach A was in here obviously a few minutes ago, and he and his son Rybo, who works for us in Sports Info, done a little research, and they couldn't find any other programs in the country in college basketball that had 5 straight conference games on the road. Now, your team went through that stretch 4-1. How proud are you or your group for that?
I'm amazed. As we looked into this 5-game road streak right before it, we were thinking, what are we going to do? How are we going to get by this? We've got to get some wins here if we want to get to 20 wins, if we want to get to the regional bid. And other than the Fort Hays game, we had 4 tremendous games, and very proud of the kids of the way they handled the adversity. And the only reason this happened is because UNO dropped out of the conference, and so we'd have had one in between there. But Coach A picked up Central Oak, who I tried to pick up their women too. Thank goodness I didn't, because we needed some time off.
Well, right now you're ranked 6th in the region. I think most of our fans understand there are 8 regions in the country in Division II. Top 8 in each of the 8 make the national tournament, but there are 3 automatic qualifiers in our region, so that means 8, 7, and 6 are somewhat tenuous spots. And of course, you're sitting in 6th, so the mantra right now is just keep on trucking, keep on winning.
Well, we need to. We'd like to catch Emporia. They're at the number 5 slot. Midwestern's at the number 7 slot. They got beat yesterday. Tarleton State, who was in the 4 slot, got beat. So we could get some movement here if we can get it done against Truman on Saturday on Senior Day.
Well, let's go back to last Saturday. A scary 2-game sequence here, taking on Northwest in Maryville and then Missouri Western in St. Joe. 2 teams, not great records, but playing for a lot. You go up to Northwest, win a grinder, 66-56, and Shaquanda Wiggins, you see it there, 15.7 boards. She took this game over for a segment I thought was a real difference maker for you.
Well, the first half, they have a lot of trouble matching up against a good post player like her, and she handled things very, very well. I thought she played with a lot of poise. And in the second half, you know, we had a little bit of a lead. We were only up 5, but we had a little bit of a lead, and Kenesha Lee started playing so well. But Shaquana still got 9 minutes in. They started double teaming her. She passed it out of the double team, so she didn't get to score any points in that second half.
So you get the big win, then it's on to St. Joe to take on Missouri Western. Scary team, a lot of talent. Jessica Cook, an outstanding player. Ashley Curry, an outstanding player. Obviously, you coached at Western. Your assistant, Josh Keister, was the head coach that followed you. So it's just always a tough game, and you couldn't have scripted it any better. A sensational start for the Jennies, and you just never look back.
Well, I like the way we played. I like the approach. You know, they didn't have a huge crowd there, but they had some people there, and they were very, very silent because we hit enough threes and played well enough to kind of keep them at bay and keep them down.
We're looking at highlights from the MWSU Fieldhouse, and you're seeing it here. Hitting threes, rebounding, playing defense, and this is pretty amazing. Nice give and go there from Alyssa to Kenesha for the finish. You had a 23-point lead, 11 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. That's hard to do, especially on the road.
Well, it's pretty amazing, and it's a strange game because Missouri Western is fighting to get into the conference tournament, and it did not matter really whether they won this game or not. It was a strange whole situation. Their big game is coming up this weekend with Southwest Baptist.
There you see Saretha Brown, and what a game for her. Not only from the outside, but we'll see her attacking later. That's huge. She's been solid, but if she can keep that type of play up, she makes you an even better team.
Well, she does, and she ended up guarding Cook at the start of the game, so she had a pretty good defensive assignment and did a very, very nice job on that.
There's Brielle Watley. Freshman's getting some valuable minutes.
She is. That was her only bucket of the game. She's like 1 for 6, and I'm glad we were able to catch it. But she's learning. She's going to get better and better as we go along here.
And there's good ball movement. What a pass from Shippey to Lee for the finish.
Kenesha Lee is one of the more surprising players in the last few weeks. She is a real big reason why we are at 19-6.
How about that post pass to the cutter, the guard, Alyssa Rhodes, who's going to go to the free throw line. She's the engine that makes you go. 4:55 to go in the first half, 31-13. Again, the Jennies cruising in this one at this point. And you call her, I love this, you and Coach Keister, she's the Tim Tebow of your team, the 2-time MVP of the league in soccer. She's just a winner, great student athlete, and she's doing it for the Jennies as well.
Well, she is, and we're trying to convert her into being just strictly basketball now. That soccer career's over, so I'd like her to extend that career on a little bit longer here, and she's doing everything she can. There's Ship, who ended up being our leading scorer, didn't score the first half, and put in big 13 points second half.
Yeah, 13 points, 5 boards, solid performance, good cut there and finish, good pass from Rhodes. 6 players with 9 or more points in this contest and 14 assists. That's terrific balance.
It is good, and we're able. Their team is strange to play against. First of all, because offensively they don't get a lot of movement, but defensively they sag so much. And there they go again. We got the diver from whenever they double team, and I think they watched the Northwest tape after we had scored so much on Northwest. Northwest decided to start trapping, and we were able to find Alyssa at Northwest game and this game a couple times. There's Nicole Caudell, who just making more plays, making plays.
Just a want-to play there from Nicole Caudell, who, as you mentioned, is really having an All-American type season, showing her range right there. And again, just a solid performance, never really in doubt. Good shooting from the outside. There's Shippey, 11 threes from the Jennies in this one.
Well, we shot it well, and anytime you play against a sagging team like those, you have to put the ball in the hole some. You got to beat it inside out, but eventually there's going to have to be some outside, because if you rely on just inside, they're going to sag in there, and you're not going to be able to get anything going. There's
my favorite
nice
play.
Move.
Favorite play of the night, right there.
Well, you put her on the right seam, she's able to use that right hand and go with it and get to the rim. If that's about the only time that you ever feel comfortable with her dribbling the ball, because usually something not so great's going to happen, and when she gets on that right seam, it's hard to guard her.
There you see Nicole Caudell on the inside. Again, all Jennies at this point. A good attack there, but there's Nicole for the finish. And you know, your team right now 19-6, and as we mentioned a few minutes ago with Coach A, 20 games is a grinder, and it's a long season, but your team has kind of come out on the other end of the grind right now and playing some really good basketball.
Well, it's amazing that we have all these home games early and really don't take care of business and get beat by some teams we shouldn't get beat by, put ourselves in a hole, and we're able to somewhat dig ourselves out. Now, we're not completely out of that hole yet. We've got to go ahead and finish the deal here with a Truman game, and then we got to hit that conference tournament and make some good things happen.
Some final plays down the stretch. I also want to mention Taylor Hanson in those highlights. We saw some threes. We're going to spotlight her in a moment. She hit 4 in the game, 69 on the season. You also held Cook and Curry to only 28 total points, and those are two players that averaged 22 and 17 respectively, so the defense was good. There you see the final numbers. Jennies finish the string of 5 straight MIAA road games, 4-1 with the 20-point win over the Griffins. Jen's now 19-7 overall, 13-6 in the MIAA. And we'll take a look at the standings in the league. And last night, Emporia loses to Washburn in a thriller. So there you go. The Jennies move into 3rd place in the league. And of course, 1 game left in the regular season. It's big for the league, but it's also big because, as you mentioned, Emporia is right ahead of you in the regional rankings right now. You split with them in the regular season, so if you can finish ahead of them in the conference standings, that's a feather in your cap.
Yeah, we should be able to go ahead of them then. If I mean, we were 7-0 non-con, so or 6-0, so we should be able to go ahead of them and you know, get ourselves solidified, because you're right. There's 3 other conferences that have automatic bids, and they're going to somebody may not be ahead of us, may win the conference tournament to knock somebody else out. 19
wins right now for years. 20 wins in a basketball season means a successful season. I know your goals don't finish Saturday. Obviously, you want to do well in the MIAA tournament, want to do well, make a regional, and make some noise. But 20 is a special season. You know you've done something good.
Well, especially considering after, I guess, probably that Lincoln home loss, we're thinking, looking at each other like, what are we going to do, guys? We're a better ball club than this. We've got to figure something out. We missed Shaquana Wiggins for a while there, and the team kind of came together, and now Shaq's back, and she's fitting in where she needs to fit in. It's just been an interesting group to work with, and I would like to have a few more weeks with them.
They're a scary team right now, and that's in a good way, and that makes it a lot of fun. But speaking of scary teams, you're going to play one on Saturday in Truman, a very good team. They've got 16 wins on the season. You play them at 1:30 at the Multi. First of all, it's senior day. 6 Jennies seniors. Now, that may scare you a little bit. You've got some serious guns to replace. 6 seniors playing for the final time at the Multi on Saturday.
Well, it's going to be a crazy, crazy day, and we just got to make sure that mentally we're in the right frame of mind. Seniors can gotta be interesting at times, because that last game at home is a tough game emotionally. You're going to have family there. There's going to be people there. We've got some local kids with, Shippey. I think I probably have 30 or 40 family people there, and so it's going to be interesting to see it. Truman has won 3 games in a row by large amounts. I mean, 25, 16, 20. So they're playing good basketball. Just had the opportunity to watch the game tape from last time we played Truman. We're down 12, 13 points in the first half, battle our way back on the road, and find a way to win it. And we had some great performances because Brielle Watley made a couple great plays at the end of the game, and so did Saretha Brown. So it's going to be an interesting battle, and it looks like we're going to end up playing them again.
I didn't know if you'd looked ahead to that. I knew that. That's scary. I mean, it's just scary because let's say you do beat them Saturday. The old adage, tough to beat a good team 3 times, and they are good. If you lose, you got to turn around and play them again, the confidence factor. But you know what? You can't do anything about it. It's just the way it is.
Division II, that's just the way that works. And, I mean, in the old days, there's been many times that you'd play. It seemed like we were always going to White Auditorium playing 3 times a year, either in the regional, the conference tournament finals, and then the regular conference home games. It's what it is. It is what it is.
You know, in looking at the women's standings, there are not just you guys in Truman. There are potentially 2 or 3 matchups that could be rematches from Saturday in the conference tournament.
There could be. And you know what? We got good coaches in our league. We got coaches that are going to make some adjustments. We've got some very, very good players. The league is better this year than it's been in a while. I think at the top of the league you got Washburn, who's got an outstanding team. So I think the league is taking a step up this year, and somebody from our league I think is going to win the regional tournament.
MIAA tournament begins Thursday, March 1st for the Jennies, and again, as you mentioned, great coaches, great teams, great event. Women play on Thursday, so if you do win Thursday, you don't have to play again until Saturday. I know that's one of your favorite days of the year.
Love that Friday off. We go out and have a great meal, some great barbecue, and just enjoy Kansas City. And Ralph McFillin started this tournament and that's the best thing by far that Ralph did, other than keeping the conference at a manageable level. Other than that, that was what Ralph did extremely well.
Thanks for the visits all season long. Best of luck down the stretch.
Thanks, Jonesy.
In just a moment on Sports Page, we'll get to know Jennies senior guard Taylor Hanson. That's next here on Sports Page.
I choose to accomplish my goals.
I choose to follow through, to finish my degree.
I choose a university that's convenient and close to home.
I choose Red to transfer my credit hours without any hassles.
I choose Red to graduate on time.
The University of Central Missouri Summit Center in Lee Summit has academic programs designed to help you finish your degree and discover your potential. Learn more at choosered.ucmo.edu.
Hi, we're the Bacon Brothers, and PBS is important to us. My brother Michael here has composed music for the documentary series Nova, Bill Moyer's Journal, and The American Experience. Isn't that right, Mike?
That is right.
Mm-hmm. Hey, didn't you win an Emmy for writing music for one of those shows?
Yes. Have you ever won one? No. Okay. Experience you may have this year, but so far I'm the only Emmy-winning person in our family. There's also your involvement with PBS, which is a performance that you did a long time ago with a certain very beautiful young woman.
Yeah, that was American Playhouse, and it was a very, very long time ago. And I met my wife, Kira, on PBS. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, changed my life, but nothing compared to your work on PBS. People should really check that out.
Yeah, you know, you're right.
I am?
I mean, you were great, but it's not like you won an Emmy yet.
Yeah, to hear more about my acting, you can watch me interviewed on Charlie Rose or Tavis Smiley here on PBS. Have you ever been on Charlie Rose, Mike?
Oh, he's called me a lot, but I've just been too busy.
Okay.
Well, how about we disagree? We both love PBS.
We both love PBS.
PBS is my source for engaging drama and interviews.
PBS is my source for award-winning documentaries.
You're watching KMOS Channel 6.1, Sedalia, Warrensburg.
I got started playing basketball when I was about 6 years old, first grade. My dad actually coached all my teams up until I was in high school, or up until I started AAU. I played AAU for the Kansas Bells and for the Missouri Valley Eclipse, and I started with the Bells when I was in 5th grade. So ever since then I knew I wanted to play basketball and started out really young, and now I'm here. Well, I knew that I wanted to come playing basketball since I started playing, you know, my freshman year of high school. My junior year, actually, I tore my ACL, and so I was out for the biggest recruiting summer after my junior year of high school. So the offers weren't running into me, you know. My first offer was actually from Missouri Southern, and that's kind of when I knew that this was the level that I wanted to play at, and the kind of schools that I wanted to go to. I wasn't really huge on going to, you know, a big D1 school or anything. I knew I wanted to come to a school where the town revolves around athletics and the sports teams, and where they get a good student following as well. So I came on my visit here, and this was my very first visit, and 2 days after my visit I committed here and verbally committed. Well, my first year I had a different assistant coach, and she was actually the one that did my recruiting. But this year, or my last 3 years with Coach Schleifer and Coach Keister, has been awesome. I think Keister's a great assistant coach. He really knows the game really well, and he's really good at coaching me as a shooter. He was a shooter, a good shooter through college, and he's good at coaching me through that. Coach Schleifer obviously has a great record as a coach. He knows the game. He, you know, responds well to his players. He tries to get everybody shots, and you know, it's been a good experience so far for the last 4 years with my coaches. My relationship with my teammates this year in particular, I think, has been the best since I've been here. We all have great team chemistry on and off the floor, I believe. In the years past, we've had some teams that we don't get along well on the floor, or we get along well on the court and not off the floor. And this year has been a great combination of both. I love each and every one of my teammates like they're my family. My playing style, I would consider myself to be a shooter, and Coach would say the same. That's my biggest asset that I offer. I've learned and practiced over the years to shoot threes is basically what I do, and I've expanded my range on the court, and if I'm not shooting or not getting shots, I allow to spread the defense out, which allows my teammates more driving lanes, which I think is a good thing that Coach likes for us this year. A typical practice right now in the middle of our season is, we watch film on ourselves from the previous game. We watch film on the team that we're going to play next. We watch our film from the first time we played them, if we had played them before, and then we spend about an hour and a half working on individual shooting, and then most of the time during the hour and a half is working on our own offense. So we scrimmage 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, and then 5-on-5, as well as 3-on-0, 4-on-0 to work on our own offense and make sure it's all moving right and we're all meshing well. I would like to consider myself a leader, yes. I am one of 2 4-year players. Me and Renee Shippey are the only 4-year players on the team right now. We've been here since we were freshmen, and we are the team captains. We have very different styles of being leaders, but we both like to do as we say. We don't want to say something and then not show it on the court or whatever, but I try to be uplifting to my teammates, be encouraging, and I do consider myself to be a leader. My major is marketing. I'll graduate in May with a marketing degree. Right now I'm searching for a job. I have a few options. I want to go into sales. Sales or advertising is what I really want to do, but currently I don't have something set in stone, but hopefully within the next month I'll have some sort of path or opportunity available. It's been difficult to balance school and athletics, but I think being a student athlete has really taught me some good time management skills that'll help me in future jobs or whatever I choose to do. As long as you have good time management, I think it's not too difficult. But if you're a procrastinator, you need to learn how to get your work done before practice, because after practice you're going to be too tired to do anything. So I've done a pretty good job in the 4 years that I've been here, and it's really taught me some lessons throughout.
The senior from Blue Valley High School in Overland Park, Kansas is shooting 45% from 3 on the season, and she's hit 69 threes this year to lead the MIAA. She hit 4 big ones last night against Missouri Western. Earlier this season against Benedictine, she hit a conference record 12 3-pointers. Senior Day for Taylor Hanson and the 6 Jennies seniors will take place Saturday 10 minutes prior to their 1:30 contest against Truman at the Multi. In just a moment, we'll tell you where all the Jennies and the Mules are competing this weekend as we wrap up Sportspage right after this.
I choose to finish what I start.
I choose to accomplish my goals.
I choose red to make my family proud.
I choose red because I can take classes that work around my schedule.
I choose red to advance my career.
The University of Central Missouri Summit Center in Lee Summit has academic programs designed to help you finish your degree, advance your career, and discover your potential. Learn more at choosered.ucmo.edu.
Load up your golf clubs, grab your spikes, and head out to the first tee. As our way of saying thank you for your financial contribution at the $50 level or higher, KMOS will send you a member card. In addition to great discounts at restaurants, attractions, and bed and breakfast all across Missouri, the member card also offers 2-for-1 greens fees at several Missouri golf courses. Improve your swing while taking in beautiful lake vistas. Or experience the Rumble at America's only golf course above an active mine. Take your game to the next level by playing around on us. Call 1-800-753-3436 and support KMOS-TV, Missouri PBS. Thank you.
I grew up on a farm right near Dedrick, Missouri, and did all the farm stuff, FFA, and high school at Elridge Springs, Missouri. Went to college at MU, majored in agriculture. Got out and turned down some other job opportunities because I always wanted to farm. And I enjoy meeting the people that are involved in Missouri agriculture. We've had some just really unique and interesting people on our show, talking about special projects that they're doing, the shape of things to come, some disagreements sometimes over policy, but I do enjoy it and enjoy Missouri people, and I enjoy communicating about agriculture.
For one final time this winter sports season, welcome back to Sportspage. Before we put the finishing touches on this week's show, let's run down our upcoming schedule of events so you know where to follow the Mules and Jennies. Mules basketball will host Truman State Saturday at 3:30 in the regular season finale, and it's a big ball game. Senior Day for Boo Hunter, Dusty Allen, and Marcus Santoro. It's also Hall of Fame Day with this year's class to be honored at halftime of the Mules game. It's Blackout Saturday with the first 500 UCM students receiving free blackout t-shirts beginning at 1:15 at the Multi. And of course, if the Mules win the game, they claim a share of the MIAA championship, their 4th under head coach Kim Anderson. You can catch the action on the UCM Sports Radio Network. The Jennies basketball squad will wrap up the regular season Saturday at 1:30 as they host Truman. The Gen Senior Day ceremonies will take place 10 minutes prior to their 1:30 game. Again, free UCM blackout t-shirts to the first 500 students at the Multi beginning at 1:15. And of course, we'll have the games for you on the Central Missouri Sports Radio Network. After the regular season is over, we head to Kansas City for the MIAA tournament March 1st through the 4th at historic Municipal Auditorium. The Jennies will open play Thursday, March 1st. Men's action gets underway Friday, March 2nd. All session tickets for the conference tournament, $40 if purchased through the UCM Athletic Ticket Office in room 101 of the Multi. They're $50 if purchased at the event or online. To purchase tickets through UCM, stop by the Multi-Purpose Building Ticket Office Monday through Friday from 9 to 4. And a reminder to fans heading to KC for the event, UCM will host pregame events for fans 90 minutes prior to the games at Johnny's Tavern on Grand Boulevard in downtown Kansas City. The UCM Indoor Track and Field team will take part in the MIAA Indoor Championships Thursday through Sunday in Joplin. Mules ranked 6th in the country. Jennies ranked 7th heading into the conference meet. The 6th-ranked Jennies bowling team will take part in the Alabama A&M Classic this weekend in Bessemer, Alabama. The 5-0 Jennies softball team will be in Denton, Texas this weekend for the Texas Women's University Invitational. You saw there a minute ago, Mules wrestling will take part in the Super Regional down in Edmond, Oklahoma. And the Mules baseball team, ranked 3rd, will open their 2012 season playing 4 games in Arkadelphia, Arkansas this weekend against Ouachita Baptist and Henderson State. And it's time now for our weekly Sportspage trivia question. Each week we give you a chance to win a prize from UCM Athletics. Last week we asked you how many MIAA basketball tournaments in Kansas City have the Mules won. The correct answer is 3 in the 9 years the event has taken place. Daniel was the first person to email us the correct answer, so he wins a UCM Choose Red t-shirt. Since this is our final show of the winter sports season, there is no trivia question this week. And with that, we wrap up the winter sports season of the Central Missouri Sports Page. We hope you enjoyed the shows all winter long, and we invite you to tune in again on Thursday, March 29th, when we begin the spring sports season of Sports Page. While we're gone, be sure to keep up with the Mules and Jennies on our website, ucmo.edu/athletics. Follow us on Twitter at UCM Mules, and search for Sports Page and UCM Athletics on Facebook. Until March 29th, for our entire crew, this is Shawn Jones saying thanks for watching Sports Page here on KMOS-TV, a broadcast service of the University of Central Missouri. Sports Page is provided by Parker's Supermarket and Pharmacy in Warrensburg. Parker's works hard to supply grocery staples and spices to cook Italian, Mexican, Chinese, Indian, and Thai cuisine. The mission at Parker's is to make grocery shopping a welcoming experience for everyone. By First Central Bank, full-service banking from 6 locations in Warrensburg, Holden, Higginsville, and Odessa. More information is available on their Facebook page or at the website firstcentral.net. Member FDIC. And by Union Station, Crossroads to Technology, a one-stop shopping source for technology needs. Campus-compatible computers, software for Mac and PCs, and much more. Located on campus on the lower floor of the Elliott Union in Warrensburg. Union Station, Crossroads to Technology. And promotional support for Sports Page is provided by 1450 Cocoa and 98.5 The Bar. 1450 Cocoa and 98.5 The Bar, the radio home of University of Central Missouri Athletics.